Let's dive into something pretty fascinating. We're going to talk about the psychology of people who intentionally choose to be unreachable. You know the ones. And we're going to explore why that silence. It might just be their greatest strength.
I mean, come on, we've all been there, right? You send a text, you see those two little check marks, but then nothing. Hours go by, maybe even a day. And it is so easy to jump to conclusions, to think that person is being cold or distant or just plain rude.
But what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if that silence isn't an insult at all? What if, according to psychology, it's actually a sign of something much, much deeper? A mind that's totally centered, focused, and at peace with itself.
Okay, if you've ever felt that, that deep, overwhelming urge to just switch off your phone, to just disappear from all the noise and notifications, to feel like yourself again, then you're about to understand why. That instinct, it is not a flaw. In the world we live in today, it's a straight-up superpower.
So, to make this easier, let's give this kind of person a name. Let's call them the digital sentry, someone who has totally mastered the art of being selectively available. And it's not by accident. No, it is a very deliberate choice. And right here is where we flip the entire script. The common assumption? That this person is antisocial. But the reality? They're grounded. You might think they're cold, but what you'll find is that when they finally do engage, they are the most present person in the room. And it's not rudeness. Think of it more like being an energy guardian. They're just protecting their most valuable resource.
Which of course brings us to the big question, why do they do it? Let's get into the actual psychology of guarding your inner energy.
Well, for a lot of digital sentries, it all starts with something called empathic fatigue. Just think of your social energy like a phone battery, right? For some of us, all those constant pings, the DMs, the emotional weight from other people, it drains that battery incredibly fast, and it leads to total, complete exhaustion.
Now, this is often connected to having what's called a highly sensitive nervous system. It's really important to get this. It's not a disorder. It's a common biological trait where your brain just processes everything more deeply. From the lights in the room to the subtle tone of a text. You're basically like an emotional sponge. And, well, you know what happens when a sponge gets too full. So this leads to a really predictable cycle. First comes the overstimulation from all that constant digital input. The response, the digital sentry switches on their internal do not disturb mode. And it's not to ignore people. It's a crucial step so they can enter recovery mode and let their internal systems recharge.
I absolutely love this way of thinking about it. Imagine your mind, your attention, is this quiet, peaceful sanctuary. Most of us just leave the front door wide open, you know? We let any notification, any email, any random demand just walk right in. But the digital sentry, they understand they hold the only key. And they have the wisdom to lock that door when they need some peace. But being a digital sentry isn't just a defensive move against burnout. Oh no, it's also about what they actively gain in that silence. It's about harnessing the incredible and often overlooked power of being alone.
The skill they're building here is called solitude capacity. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the powerful ability to find genuine fulfillment and a rock-solid sense of self from within. They don't need that constant IV drip of likes, comments, or messages for validation.
And this isn't just some feel-good idea. It's rooted in real psychology, specifically self-determination theory, which basically says our deepest sense of well-being comes from autonomy. So by intentionally unplugging, digital sentries master that autonomy. They learn that they don't need a feed of likes to prove their worth. And what comes out of that is this amazing, quiet, calm confidence. It's a powerful self-awareness because they know exactly who they are when nobody else is watching.
So what's the big lesson here for all of us? Well, it really boils down to this powerful idea of consciously choosing when to be found.
Think about it. If you've ever felt that little pang of guilt for going off-grid, for ghosting a group chat, or just staying home to recharge, maybe it's time to ask yourself a totally different question. Are you really hiding from the world?
Or are you, just maybe, finally returning to yourself? That's such a powerful way to reframe it, isn't it? To see that time of unavailability not as an escape, but as a homecoming.
And this just says it all, perfectly. In a world that is constantly screaming for you to be always on, the ultimate act of rebellion is choosing when and on whose terms you want to be found. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just stay silent until you are truly ready to be heard.